Hello everyone. In this video, I will use some knowledge from the system engineering to make an analysis of the case of a power system. The main idea of this case is applying blockchain technology to electrical power system. Before we make the analysis, we need to know some basic knowledge of the system engineering. The first one is we need to know what is system engineering. So first is the function. The function of system engineering is to guide the engineering of complex system. We need to pay attention that this is complex systems. And then system engineering is an approach and means to enable the realization of successful systems. So the goal of system engineering is to make a successful system. And then for the system engineering, it focuses on the needs, the documenting requirements, and the whole process of design and the system validation, and all the problems we will meet in the whole process. Then we need to know what is a system. A system is a set of interrelated components working together towards some common objectives. We have mentioned before that for the goal and for the system engineering, we need to find the complex system to apply this knowledge into it. So we need to know the characters of the complex system. The first one is the components are diverse. The second one is the relationships are intricate. Then I will introduce some examples of a complex system. And we have mentioned before, we need to make an analysis of the complex system. It's the requirements of system engineering. So the examples of complex systems, it contains transportation system, telecommunication networks, power system, wall system. But I will mention an example which is not a complex system. It's washing system because it's not complex enough to use the knowledge of system engineering. Before we make the analysis, we need to know the viewpoints of system engineering. So, and we have mentioned before that the goal of system engineering is a successful system. So, in order to make a successful system, we need to do the 4 points. The first one, we need to understand users' needs and focus on their satisfaction. The second one is make a balance before the performance with the cost. The third one is applying new technology and managing result risk. The final one is seeking the best overall balance among conflict and objectives. If we can consider these 4 points in the whole process, we can make a successful system. One important thing for system engineering is the system engineering life cycle. It will mention all important things we need to meet or we need to fix in the whole process of this system. And there are 4 stages for this cycle. The first one is the concept development stage, and its name. In this stage, we need to put a concept, and it need to satisfy the need of users. Then the second one is engineering development stage. So this one means make a translation from the concept to the physical system. And the third one is post-development stage. It includes the production, development, operation, and support of the system throughout its useful life. But in this video, we will focus more on the first stage, the concept development stage. And for make a successful analyzation for this stage, we need to do these three phases. The first is need analyzation. The second one is the concept exploration. The third one is concept definition. Then I will use the case applying a blockchain technology into power system to reveal the knowledge of this part, and I will also analyze the case by using the knowledge of this part. The first one is need analyzation. So for this part, we need to answer two questions. The first one is there a valid need for a new system? It means that we need to make sure this need is really important for the new system, and the need is also what the customer need. The second one is there an approach to satisfy in such a need? So for the power system, as we all know, it has developed for a century, and in the most power stations, they use fossil fuels to make power. We know that is a unstable source is the first problem we need to fix in the power system. The second one, some users install their own devices so that the power station or some department can't control the users. This is another question. So we need to apply a new technology to solve this problem, and this is really need for the power system now. Then for the second question, we have known a new technology. It means blockchain. It can be very useful to solve this problem I have mentioned before. For the blockchain, I will use a short video to make the introduction of blockchain.
Since the days of clay tablets, people have recorded the exchange of goods and services. As we evolve into the digital age, recording these transactions has become much more complex. Whether it's the exchange of money between two parties, documenting how goods move through a supply chain, or making contractual agreements. The growth of global commerce and trade has created a network of disparate ledger systems, vulnerable to errors, fraud, and misinterpretation. Take the diamond industry, for example. The journey of a diamond from mine to consumer covers a complex landscape of legal, regulatory, financial, manufacturing, and commercial practices. Current supply chains have to rely on intermediaries every step of the way, from government officials to lawyers, accountants, dealers, and banks. This adds time and cost. Diamond smuggling and fraud can hamper governments from collecting fair export taxes, and and retailers face the prospect of purchasing counterfeit or unethically mined stones. This is where Hyperledger blockchain technology comes in. It has the potential to eliminate these vulnerabilities with transparent transactions. Blockchain offers all parties involved in a business network a secure and synchronized record of transactions. The blockchain ledger records every sequence of transactions from beginning to end, whether it's hundreds of steps in a supply chain or mission, and it's secure. Because the ledger is distributed, it works as a shared form of record keeping, ensuring no one, not even a system administrator, can delete it. In the case of diamonds, a blockchain ledger keeps a record of high-resolution photos of each diamond at every touchpoint along its journey. Indisputable record of information. Blockchain technology gives us the ability to transform industries of all sorts, from diamonds to flowers, monetary.
So because time reason, I can't show the whole thing of this video, but we know from this video, we know that the most important characters for the blockchain is the distributed network. So it will be very useful for the power system. Then I need to do the second phase, and I will show why this is very useful. The most important, the distributed network is very useful for power system. For the next phase is when the concept exploration phase. We need to know what performance for the system what performance is required for the system. And we all know, and we know that for the power stations, they always use fossil fuels to make engine. But there are some power stations also use such as wind, water to make electricity. So we can use so we need to distribute the resource for various users. For example, for some industries, it needs more electricity for daily life, so we can use the fossil fuels to produce. And for some for the home, we only use a little electricity, we can use wind, so that need the distribute the resource. And the second one is the electricity can only flow in one direction. It means that the electricity can only produce from power station and flows to the users. Is a problem because the user can't control the processing, can't control the producing of the electricity. So that is what we need to solve. The third one is, I will use an example. So if there's some problem in your if the electricity in your home has some problem, the department or the power station will never know if you didn't call them. So this is a really important thing, is power station or some department never know the real information of the electricity. So we need to digital the power system, to make the power system digital. So we need to distribute the digitization of power system. And then and you can see all the three questions can be solved if we have a distributed network. So we need to find a very affordable. We need to use a very affordable cost to solve this problem. We know there is a technology, blockchain, and it has been used in some area, and it is successful. And we know and we know it has been used in the internet, and it's very safe and simple. So we solve these two questions. For the third one is the concept definition. In this part, we need to what are the key characteristics of a system concept that would achieve the most beneficial balance between the compatibility, operation life, and cost. So in this part, I have found some other method to solve all these problems. And some engineers said that we can use some new sources such as wind, water, and solar engine, but we know that is unstable and what's more, it's unsafe, and it always depends on, such as the wind, it always depends on the weather, so people can't control it, and so it's like it's not a very perfect method to solve this problem. The second one is someone said we can find some new technology. And for the new technology, it has a high cost because we need to find it, to test it, and to develop it, and to solve the problem in it, and so on. It costs too much time and money. So this method are unsuccessful. So from that we can know block. So for all we have mentioned before, the blockchain is the most suitable choice to solve this problems in the power system. The next part I will see some challenge we need to solve. The first and the main challenge is the regulatory policy, because for the power system we need to obey many policies. So if we want to use blockchain technology into the power system, we need to do the three things. The first one, some department should to broadcast the knowledge of blockchain. We need to have more and more people to know and understand this technology, and then we need to make technical standards for blockchain. It will be very useful to solve many problems. The third one is that we need to the government should have for some companies to do some small projects of blockchains, because for some small companies they don't have enough money and technology to make the projects of the blockchain. So if the big companies can do this, and it will be very useful for applying blockchain technology.